What I want to do now is show you how to use the T account, which you'll be using for one of your assignments, but which you can and I hope also use to help prepare for your various exams. There's basically two parts to using the T account. The first is acquiring some inventory, which I call an accounting cube, and then the second part is actually working with the T account. So let me go through each of these two steps. The first thing I'm going to go over is simply how to get the accounting cube. You'll only need to do this once, and then after that you'll use the same inventory object every time you utilize the T account. So let me show you how to do that. Basically, what we're looking at here is a T account, and next to every T account that will be placed around the island, you'll see a pink box next to it. That pink box contains the object that you'll need to use with this, and you have to purchase it. To do that, simply place your cursor over the pink box, and you'll notice that the cursor changes to say $L for Linden dollars. Letting you know that you could buy something from this box. All you need to do is click that box, and then you will see this pop up that shows what you're buying, the price you're buying it for, which is 0, so it's not costing you anything. All you need to do then is click the buy button. You'll get a message that you paid me $0. Just click OK with that. And then you need to get that inventory item and wear it. To do that, again, you're going to go to the your inventory, which is the briefcase icon. So I'm going to click on that. Then I'm going to scroll down. I've got quite a lot more things in my inventory than you may, but you're going to scroll down until you see something that says Account Cube 1.0 Group for Sale. Once you see that, you'll open up that folder. You'll see something called Account Cube 1.0. You're going to right-click on that, and then you are going to choose Where. Now, as soon as I click on Where, you'll notice that I now have, I'm going to go ahead and close out my inventory. I now have this pink cube that is basically over my head, and you'll see this text chat right down here explaining how you can talk with this cube. You talk with it in the same manner in which you talk with the accounting equation by using the text chat and starting your text chat with a /2021 for our class numbers. That's easy to remember. And that is how you purchase the accounting cube and how you wear it in order to interact with the T account. Now, to communicate with the accounting cube, you're basically going to have two choices based on the T account, whether you are going to become a debit or a credit. And again, the way you do that is you use the chat channel 2021, and you either type in the word debit, and you'll notice that when I do that, my accounting cube says debit, and I've now become a debit. Or you type in the word credit and the accounting cube becomes a credit. The next step, and either these steps can actually be done in any order, is to actually step on to the T account. And then you'll notice once there that above the T account you see in some floating text above it the word increase or decrease and then a specific account. And what you're going to be doing when working with this learning model is to answer that question. The question being, what do you need to do to increase or decrease the specific account that shows up? To cycle through various accounts, you simply click on this red part of the T account. And you'll notice as you do that, the accounts are changing. And in this case, it says increase in land. As I click it again, it says increase in taxes payable, so on and so forth. The way to operate the T account is that you need to answer the question. Again, this says increases in taxes payable. The way you increase a liability account is by crediting it. So I'm going to walk on to the credit side of the T account. I happen to be a credit already from my earlier demonstration, but just in case, you change yourself to a credit. And then once that happens, in order to tell the T account that you're ready to test yourself to see if you've answered correctly, you then click on the accounting cube that's over your head. So notice when I click on this, T account it flashes green, and I get some feedback over here saying congratulations, you're correct, and it tells me the number correct that I've gotten right. If I were to have done something wrong, either chosen the debit or credit wrong, or I'm on the wrong side, as in this case, you'll notice that when I click on it, it flashes red, and I get some feedback explaining why I'm wrong. And that's basically how you use the T account, and you continue clicking the sign and then changing to the debit or credit side, changing yourself to a debit and credit, and continuing to interact with it. When you are done interacting with the T account, you simply detach this cube from your head, and that detachment is the process in which your assignment, which is the number you got correct within a specific period of time, will be sent to me. So it's the actual detaching of the cube. Notice when I right-click the cube is now outlined, and I get this menu that allows me to detach. So you can detach it, and that then actually puts the cube back in your inventory, and you could use it over and over again. So that's how you use the accounting cube with the T account.